So Ulrich,
Yeah.
the floor is yours. You can give your experience to the participants and all the best. The
Okay.
floor is yours.
So we are already live.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Then let me say a big thank you to be here for or to be invited to a session with the DesignXR Hackathon 2026. And I'm Ulrich. I live in Munich, Bavaria. Um, Most people maybe know it from Munich, from the Oktoberfest. Um, but that's not the topic now. What we will go together in this evening. A few words to my position. As I said, my name is Ulrich Buckenlei. I'm software developer, analyst, and tech scout, and also work as a technical journalist. I have a diploma with technical writing, also, and I'm CEO at Visoric in Munich. That's a that's a studio, a Munich-based studio that I founded 15 years ago, and we are specialized in 3D, AI, and extended reality. And tonight, I want to show you how AI and XR together can solve real problems in industry. And not only theoretically, we won't go through. I also brought with me tonight two projects we just delivered, quite really new projects. So you get something real new today. And yeah, and here's what will get through tonight. I clustered my presentation in 6 topics, moving from the core problem to the real case study, then into the strategy and the framework. So I and at the end, I left time, of course, for your question because as we are an interactive company, I also like to do interactive presentation. That means you have a problem, you have a wish, and I, as a presenter, should also fulfill there something. That's what I wanted to do. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. But yeah, I left some time. Uh, we start with a fundamental problem: why complexity is so hard to communicate. Then uh, go straight into the cases. One case of the first case I wanted to show, we helped Dehn. Dehn is a company known for electric infrastructure worldwide. They do lighting protection and some other stuff. And in that case study, we were using the Apple Vision Pro to make the understandable physical. So yeah, but that you will see after case study 1. We will come to case study 2. That's about Siemens, also one of our customers, and we build for Siemens. We build a gamified 3D learning platform for the Power Academy. Browser based, no installation needed. Just at was used and presented first time at Hannover Messe. And the Hannover Messe was a few weeks ago. So we are, as I promised to you, really very new projects. After the 2 cases, I show you why AI and XR are belonging together and why neither one alone is enough. The combination is what creates real leverage. Then we come to the maturity model, a practical framework for where where your organization is today and where the next uh, concern step looks like, from the isolated experimental to the full performant. And finally, discussion. As I told you, I want to hear about your cases. Where, where in your world is a problem that is crying out for an immersive solution? That conversation is what makes the session valuable. So, and yeah, here's a core tension. Technology keeps getting more complex. And I have a yeah, I have an example with me that's shocking. There are also some videos in the internet, but it's exactly the places our Siemens case is working with. So electricity, all the electricity equipment technology is very complex and very dangerous. So there really experts are killed in accidents, and yeah, and that's what we want to help to get better. Yeah, but our ability is to explain, to teach, and uh, is and to make something experiential. And I have, have some interesting figure with me, and yeah, there is there are studies, and that's maybe somebody would wonder about it. 70% of uh, knowledge transfer lost after traditional training, and four times better learning with immersive environment. That's from a study with from PwC 2024. Uh, the growing gap between complexity and explanation is yeah, it's growing and it's getting bigger. And see in infinity sign what I have here, it's not a it's not a joke. So the question is not whether we need new communication formats. The question is which one actually works, and that we will discover together. And how you implement them in your industry, that we will also talk about. That is exactly what the next two cases answer. And here already the first slide of the case we did with Dane. And Dane is a specialist in electric equipment, what you need in your industry, in your home, in your private home, and what you, for example, protect you against lightning. And that's the lighting protection becomes spatial. That was our briefing for the project, what we did. And I I have a video. You can you can watch it. That video was recorded inside of the Apple Vision Pro. There is also sound. That's me with the Apple Vision Pro, and there's also sound, but that you cannot hear. Yeah, the 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 physical process um, when lightning is coming into a home or in the industry, what will be damaged and how you can protect is very hard to understand. And there are also what you see here. There are very modern methods where you can secure your house. And for example, our customer is using drones for has a drone service for measure your buildings, and then they develop the right strategy. So when a lightning hits your house, your industry, then nothing will happen. And that's very hard to understand for people outside. And if you just explain it on a whiteboard, nobody will understand it. And the funny thing was when we can show it again. The funny thing was when we were there. Um, all the exhibitors were amazed what we can do with the technology, and how easy is it to understand, and they got awareness what like that fire, what damage could happen. And they were really interested in the technology, what can be done against, like that the drone measurement and the Blitzkugel model, it's called in German. I do not know the English word. That's what you see here. And yeah, and the result were immediately immersive process that became visible. People understood the protection logic without a single word. So it was working for English people, for German. It was working for everyone. Nothing has to be spoken, nothing has to be written, and it was a huge success. Um, and Now we come to our next case study. They're a few weeks old. I mean, we were working more than 1 year into the project, and what you see, what I will present here will be a part of the project. But our customer is Siemens Power Academy. Um, they are their job is to train people in inside the environment of energy supply. And as you have seen in that photo, what I have shown, that's a very risky topic, and it's not very easy to handle in a learning scenario, because if you are sitting with 20 people in a classroom and you tell them something about how energy is produced and how you bring it from the first power plant to the huge industry and then to the household, that you will not understand just sitting in a classroom. For that, you would have to go on the field. You would have to go drive somewhere, maybe 100 kilometers or more, to see that in action, or to see at least all the procedures and all the machines and generators who are involved. Here you see a few impressions from the Hannover Messe and our customer. And now we jump into our experience. It's like a learning game. It's working in the web browser, no installation needed. And you see that you can really learn with experiences on a real turbine. That means you do not have to go where. You can walk around. You can interactively uh, do something, see where the energy is produced, and you can look inside. What's even not possible with all with a real factor. So yeah, it's good to show it at least twice, because there's a lot of information inside. Um, Here I can a little bit slower. That was a place where it was presented. The Hannover Messe is the world most famous and most important industry fair. And here you see walking around in our 3D model, and here you see a turbine, and you can do tests about a turbine, but you can also drive simulations, and that everything will get supported by artificial intelligence, for not only for answering questions if the real experts have no time. It's also that the AI will evaluate data and real time information. And so you for example can go into in your virtual control room, and and you can see real data, what you also would see in a real control room. And what was seen here in the end of the film, there that's this the whole experience is designed in form of islands. So it's very easy to adopt a new island with a different use case or with a new technology. And we we programmed that on our own development. That's called the XR Stager Industrial Metaverse and Immersive Experience platform, special computing platform. And the very important thing of the XR Stager platform is that if you create one model with the XR Stager, you can use it as well in the web browser, as on the Apple Vision Pro, or a lot of other headsets. For example, we're also not only cooperating with Apple, we're also cooperating with Magic Leap. And so you can also see these things in the classes, and there is a real back end behind it. So all the information can be managed uh, and changed from different teams at the same time, and that's uh, that's very important to to go further, and to get training better, and to make it safer. And the thing is, also what we find out with other projects with NVIDIA, BMW, or Audi, that AI speeds up a lot of processes, and you can test much more and getting better results if AI is running um, uh, in the back end. And that's something very important, because our day has just 24 hours and nobody can change this. So if you can just do more testing, do more developing powered by AI, you get better results, and you can drive different strategies, because AI enables you to do things what you before would take you 100 years, and not everybody gets 100-year old. So that's a really interesting aspect. And uh, extended reality uh, um, brings that together. Extended reality makes invisible processes um, experiential. So something what I cannot see because it's closed in the cover, or if I take a saw, or a laser sword, and want to try to open a turbine, it will not work anymore. And one of the special things what we have in extended reality. And what a lot of people do not think about before they even try an XR headset is that if I go into XR headset, I have everything what I see in real dimension. That means the turbine is as big as it is in the reality. And that you cannot that you cannot uh, create on a whiteboard, or that's very hard. And but there are also a lot of or there are some cases where the headset is not it's not the first choice. Sometimes people like to have a tablet, or they want to train it on their laptop. That's understandable, because some get sick, some do not want to carry a headset with it, and so it's a good thing what we developed with the XR Stager, so that you can go everywhere in your device. If it is a tablet, or if it's a desktop computer or a laptop, you can start something, you can create an experience, and then you can jump into the glasses and go on with all that what you need. And yeah, and now you see, if we combine XR and AI, we have a huge potential. I think at that stage of my presentation, you should understand that AI and XR is something what a lot of industries can use. And our company is existing for 15 years, and we are really working across industries. We are working for bakeries. We are working for automotive. We are working for power industries. That doesn't matter at all. What you are. It just matters where you want to go. And and uh, um, so, but one of the biggest problems, or what we have daily, if somebody is new, and nobody knows what is the right what is the right achievement for his company, and where should he start, or if he has started, what uh, um, what stage he already has climbed. So I, I created a 5 levels to an XR platform. I call it five levels to the XR platform, and that's a very important thing because XR is not XR, and a case is not a case. I mean, though that will be the topic of the next minutes. But I think that you know that already as something sometimes could happen. So the first case is the ad hoc. Level one, ad hoc. Yeah, you do just something experimental happen, but without strategy, without ownership. It means I XR is cool. I get a MetaQuest 2 or MetaQuest 3 and I try something. Yeah, that's ad hoc. You just do something. There's no plan behind. There is no ownership. There's no project owner. Somebody's doing something. And yeah, that's very good if somebody starts like that. But it will not fulfill all your needs. So you have to go on. Uh, but yeah, that's a toxic. Someone tries an VR demo at a trade show. Nothing gets followed up. Technology is closed before the problem is defined. That's very often happen. That yeah, there is something, but next steps gets maybe too complicated or too yeah. I have no money for that, or I have no money. Mostly not the often not the problem. There's no product owner, and if you do not have a product owner, you the company will not give you money. If you have a product owner, and if somebody tells you, I want to do that, I think most company invest if they have somebody who is burning for that. And yeah, and now we come to level two, uh, isolated capability. First real use case work, but they live in silos. One team use XR training. Nobody else knows about it. Yeah, that's happened very often, even in very big companies. We know it from very big companies that even two uh, two teams were ordering the same thing as an external developer because they even didn't know that somebody else was doing that already. And yeah, that's reality. That's not yeah, it's not science fiction. And content is built uh, per project and never reused. That's also something what's very common even in the huge companies. And our last 10 years, one of our biggest jobs was beside building cool XR stuff to creating 3D pipelines because the problem is that the companies they have money when a fair is, and then they go to a to a production company or something, and they produce something, and they even get do not get the data back. It means after the fair they start at the zero level again, and that's exactly what happened. You do something, but you never do it again. And the nice data, what would make you what would help you to do a lot of other projects is even not reused, and that's very pitiful. And yeah, and why is it a problem, or why there's no shared platform, no pipeline? And yeah, and now we go a little bit closer in the direction of professional, so operational level highlight in this is when a system becomes stable, when content becomes structured, and when XR stopped being an experimental and starts being infrastructure. And that's, I would say, that the Dane case operates here. That's, I mean, I would, I mean, see, we go further with the project, but at least we started at that level with the Dane project, what you saw recorded out of the Apple Vision Pro. Yeah, and now we come to the level four, strategic capability. XR and AI connected to business system. And return of invest ROI is measured at a business unit level, not project level. AI starts personalizing experiences based on a real usage data. Learnergy operates here on that level, but with Learnergy we go also further. But that's where we started. And level five, full differentiation. XR is how how organization operates. Not a tool is used. It's a real time digital twin feed training, and that's very powerful. With that was I was explaining where we wanted to go with Learnergy, that we get real data from that energy control centers into our interactive digital twin models. And yeah, and but that's a long way to go, but it's a very powerful solution what you have afterwards. And then if you have that, you can do real-time digital twin feeded training. That's very powerful because a real-time digital twin feeded training means that, for example, that data from outside the world are integrated into your learning content. That means if it is snowing and there is snow lying on the electrical power lines on the cables there, and somebody has to be trained on this because there's a certain situation, certain need, that there will be content automatically created and changed during outside conditions, for example, or do yeah. That's one example how AI can, and AI is using is using data from outside. It's generating the content and is um, live performing and producing. Yeah, and yeah, to be honest, most companies are at level 2 today. The jump to 3 is is the is a really a jump to 3 is a really huge move, and yeah, not so and, and not normal right now. It's getting it in huge companies, that's on the top management board. Of course, this decision is not doing a small department. That's a CEO. That's a top management decision, and companies like Siemens doing such things. They are doing industrial AI. Digital twin is a very important strategy topic, and but not all companies are there. Yeah, and that's where we want to have Learnergy operating in the future. Yeah, and here you see my 5 levels to an XR experience in the whole, and yeah, that's uh, that's how it can move. But I think the ad hoc starting and to getting fascinated is very good. And what we know from 15 years of working in that field is that the most important thing for a successful project is that on the other side, at the customer, that there is something says that there's somebody who is burning for that project. It means who is excited, who is interested, who really wants to do it. And we have a lot of cases where the companies they really wanted to give us money because they had money and somebody said they should do something with XR, with AI, but they didn't feel it. They just had the money to spend, and that's really that's sad. I mean, if if you do something, you need a product owner, you need somebody who really is responsible inside of these for these projects, and then you have to find a partner who is treating you right. I mean, it's more important to be treated right than what all the partner can do for you, because if he can do a lot and you just do not understand it, because or you do not want to understand it, because if you're working on an XR AI strategy, one thing has to be clear: that is a change project. That means change management, because the the processes, they are so different to that what for example, the workers or the decision makers are used. And maybe you experience by yourself, as sometimes it's like that, as older you get, as harder you change something. And if you are engineer, and you have a good degree, and you're working at a company, and somebody says to you, now you're working with AI, and the AI is deciding something for you, and content is generated automatically, then the most normal reaction is that somebody says, that the engineer says, no, I will not do that, because I do not understand what that AI is doing. And I'm responsible for the decision. And he's absolutely right. And it means if if the if the software is not created as a transparent solution, as a transparent pipeline, as a transparent tool chain, then I would also not use it. Not if I'm responsible for the decision or for the content what I give out. If I create something for me in ChatGPT or whatever, and I use it for me privately, that's something else. That's a different topic to something. I deliver something to somebody, and so there's all the world, or somebody thinks in the world, Ulrich is an expert in something like electronics or XR or 3D, and that makes me responsible for something because people trust me. And that's the important thing, that we will it the AI will not go away, and XR will also not go away. It has not reached the single household yet, but in industry, it's a very old story. When I was yeah, when I was ending my studies, I was first working for space agencies and helicopter company. We were creating simulators, and afterwards I was working for military, and I was working for Audi and BMW. And for all that companies, it was absolutely not a new topic. It's a very old topic. The NASA was using VR in the 50s, I think. So, but now it gets big, and so we have to handle it like that. And yeah, more or less we are moving slowly but surely, quite slowly but surely, to the end, but not to the end, to the takeaway. So what I want you to take away with you, and I decided to present to you four takeaways. And yeah, uh, and I formed it as scissors. And yeah, the scissors one is as spatial beats linear, always. That's what uh, what I uh, would shout out. When people walk through a system and feel cause and effectively, knowledge six. Every complexity leaves spatial experiences, creates deeper understanding, and then any side document or as any side document or video. And yes, that's something what our customer sometimes don't understand. I need a video, and we said, no, maybe you do not need a video. You need something interactive, and because nonlinear storytelling is very powerful for understanding. And the thing is that we get huge databases, and we have individual training is a very important and coming thing. So a video works for one structure, and an interactive spatial experience gives me the right information at the right place to the right time that a video can never do. And combined with AI, it get even more powerful, and you can even imagine by yourself, if you just imagine what you have seen and combine it. And yeah, and yeah, invisible processes, lightning, as you have seen it with Den, uh, that's exactly fitting to um, to that case. And yeah, and uh, if we go further, um, I have I I have created a second thesis, and that's called uh, gaming mechanics are serious dictates. And the gaming industry has spent decades pre- prefe- perfecting how human learns through interactions. That's that like it is, as you know, maybe from the 80s. I do not want only mention shooting games, but there was also, for example, Oil Imperium in the 80s, what I was playing, and that was so interesting and so funny to play. You did it was running on an Commodore 64 or something, very simple machine, or and you could really explore or and play a job inside the oil industry. You were digging oil holes. Oil were coming out. You have to you have at least you experience that you have to find some cases where you have can store your oil, or you need ships where you bring your oil away. But because if you have no ships and if you have no tanks, you cannot use it. And that's exactly what we are doing even in another project for the logistic departments, bringing logistic projects in real time into the Apple Vision Pro. And yes, that's Oil Imperium 4.0, something like that. And yeah, and if we go to my next slide. Yeah, and this thesis talks about integration, because that's a very important topic, and one of my favorites, because as we know, if you build something, if you did a nice project, you did a nice programming, and then you cannot integrate it in into something, into your daily life, you cannot integrate it in your company, then it's just a tool, and it's not that much more what it could be. And if you integrate some AI XR experience tool inside uh, your daily workflow, it gets reality. It gets a part of your work, like your screwdriver, something like that. Somebody is taking a headset and looking on the wall and sees all the cable behind that wall. So that's also very nice to have in a power plant, for example. And if you have that, that's not that's something what you go to your work, and you have to check you have to check something what's not inside of your building, what's 50 kilometer away, because you have a second factory, and you do not have to drive. You just go move on your headset, and you're exactly at that place. Or for example, other project what we do, somebody has a very dangerous place and there's a machine working at the dangerous place. Um, Now, with our development, the machine is working alone, at, but it has to be steered by somebody else. But it's not so easy to get that machine maintenance because you have a 3D stereo surrounding scene. Otherwise, you will not be manage to steering that machine. And that means people can wear headsets and can see in 3D stereo a picture like they would see if they would really sit in the machine. And you can perfectly integrate that with a learning environment, and you can read out data from the real working process. That means if if your trainee or even your expert worker are working, and if he's doing failures, the, the training program can suggest him nicely and exactly that topic, what he has to learn or refresh to get better results. And that's with the integration thesis. That means I integrate something, and then it works from everywhere, and it gets the important information also from that places where it's important. Yeah, and yeah, that's also a very common. I think the most often heard phrase at the Hannover Messe 2026 was you have to scale it, and that's now at Hannover Messe really there's only one big topic, and that's AI and industrial AI. That means another word, nice word for robots. And yeah, say scalability is a very is a very important thing. And most of our customers are really huge, or even the smaller ones, they have a lot of different departments. And from talking from their theory, there's nothing more nice than scaling a digital project. Because I mean, if you maybe you remember when I was when I started my working at Audi, there that was common that cars, if they designed cars, they were taking clay, yeah, that's mud, for that's a kind of mud, and they were creating a shape of a car. And yeah, and then if you do that, that's very nice. You can also sit inside of that thing, and you can touch it and you can feel it. But what you cannot do, you cannot scale it, because if you have built it one real haptic car, that's not scalable. And if you have a photo car from your new exciting car what come out, or you have a training car and you have only one, and you want to train somebody in Sweden and somebody in Iceland and somebody in India, somewhere that's not working, because for that you would need a lot of cars. And that's the nice one with digital projects. I mean, if I have a digital environment, theoretically, I can just scale it, make it bigger, multiply it, but it's not so easy as somebody would imagine, because the every I would say um, every case is different. Every person inside a headset is different. If you do not adjust something individual to the person, it will not bring this fun and effectivity what you normally could have. And so scalability means also that you have some strategies and AI processes what adjusting my scaled project to the individual person. Because the individually you cannot scale because we are no clones. We are individual people, and so the best thing is you bring out a software, and it's during working with the software, AI and the XR intelligence behind that software is adjusting it to the user, and then you will get success. Otherwise, you will maybe get a shitstorm, or somebody's writing that software is not working, because he would never say, "I'm not able to work with the software." Yeah, I understand if something is complicated to use. Yeah, people do not like. They even get afraid of it. And if uh, if an authority says you have to use it, then they even get stressed, because if I do it wrong, maybe I get bad marks like in school. And that's it's change management, and you need real experts to have success, I would say. Um, but the starting for starting, you just need a fascination, and then you roll it out with the product owner, and with an internal or external expert, or maybe with both. And yeah, and that leads me now perfectly to my last topic. What industry challenges is yours? What what challenges you have? What question you want to ask me? And I mean, if you not want to ask now, you also can scan this QR code and contact me contact me later. Yeah, but I'm finished with my presentation, with the not interactive part. Now we start with, if you want, we are talking about your question, your concerns, your topics. Maybe I can give you also a value here. Yeah, I'm now very excited of hearing from you.
Thank you, Ulrich, for a great presentation. And so there is a question
Yeah.
from me. Like, see, as we build in XR. So right now, what happens in, like, as our
Are you still here?
hackathon? Yeah, I am here. Am I audible? Yeah. So my question was, like, in the real industry, as we are seeing, there is just an XR like demos and prototypes. Is there any real use cases
I
are
cannot
there?
hear you.
Okay. Hello. Am I audible? Hi. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Hi. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question was, am I audible? Yeah, I am here. I think there is some issue with the mic. Okay, so I have a question. Yeah, am I okay? So let's question.
Okay. Then you can read here questions. I cannot hear you, but I can read it. Um, I have to read it first, and then I can maybe answer it. Maybe, yeah. Okay. So. Question is how the industry is using XR, or is is it only for the for demo and prototypes? No, very good question. Uh, I hope you can hear me. Um, Industry is using XR for a very long time. As I told you, or you can even research it by yourself. NASA was using headsets during the 50s, 60s. A very it's a very old topic. And in industry, it's a standard and headset, XR, and interactive media, 3D models. That's very common. And it's nothing new and nothing special, but um, not everybody treat it the same way. Some are used to headsets, some are like internet browsing and turning an object in the web browser and looking on it in all dimensions or from all sides, and then they do exploration and they can see their products. And for example, a good workflow means that you're creating interactive, for best case photorealistic models, what you can use multipliable. That means you have one model of your car and you can explore all parts of your car. You can print out whole um, uh, whole posters, huge posters. You can also do training on it. You can produce learnings and documentation for your customer, and that should be integrated in one pipeline. Okay. Next question. Okay.
Hi,
Sorry
Ulrich.
that I didn't that question I didn't understand so far. Just okay. Wait a second. Don't know what exactly means. Yeah. So that means you're interested in the education sector. That I mean that is what we were talking about during my presentation. E- ed- Education, it's where Learnergy are working perfectly. That means there is even a department restructured through digital technology. Means um, XR is an important tool in education, but a good pipeline gives you also another opportunities. But as I was mentioned in my presentation, um, um, it's not a it's not so recommended to create silos. If you can do it somehow, you create something what you can using in the education field, same time as in best case also in marketing, or for service, because then you have more stakeholders, and you have a yeah more stakeholders means you have more abilities to do something. And but with a good 3D model, you can create perfect perfect training environments, and it works normally that you're starting with a visual product what you can explore, and then if you explore something, you get information exactly on the point of exploration, or on the other or the other way around, you're starting with reading something, or watching a video because that's the easy step in. That's the things what people are used to. And then during watching the video or doing reading something, you get a link inside of your learning platform, and that link is exactly jumping to that 3D model part what was mentioned in the video or in the reading. And yeah, and there for example, adopting a second layer to a to a 2D media like reading or video. um, that's perfectly for mixed reality, spatial computing, or also augmented reality. Those I get. I have my books. I have my surrounding what I'm used to, so I feel comfortable. And then I get at certain parts, I get a second layer. What's exactly is what's perfectly is in line with my learning success, with my structure, and with the training value, and the training strategy. That means, if I need something because I didn't understand the text what I read it, or the video what I have looked at, that the extended reality can give me a very important layer, and that works from everywhere. So XR means for me, I'm adding something, and normally it should be in 3D, because um, the real world is a 3D world. And um, before you were asking, is it just for prototypes, or is it really used? Yes, it's used very, very often, and it's even not very expensive to do the first steps into something, because, and that's very easier to explainable, because industry companies, every company who's producing something, 90% say anyway, or 99% say anyway, have CAD data for creating the real product what they are selling. And so that's the step from my construction data to a learning digital twin. It's not usual. So that's very, sometimes our customer ask us, how long will it need till we can see something? Because now you got the job, and that, yeah, you will see something in 2 days. What? So yeah, normally you are very fast. That doesn't mean that it's not sometimes not a lot of work to turn out something good and varies, uh, something what is helpful, what brings long time success. And there we are, uh, back again at our slides, where we were saying that, as I said, that we shouldn't have silos, and we should have something what we can adopt. And that's, for example, that's the success strategy of Learnergy. As you have seen in the videos, there are different islands, learning islands, and these islands can be moved to another place. They can also be an island created between some other islands. So that's a model system, and modularity is very important for learning success. And it's fitting perfectly to XR and AI, because XR and AI gives me a lot of flexibility, what no other medium gives me. And so I can start something, and I can adopt something. And there was long time that buzzword, the buzzword metaverse, industrial metaverse. Some are saying that will never come, but the idea that you create virtual accessible worlds, exactly perfectly synchronized with your real world. They are partly that's already existing for a very, very long time. Um, if you think about a virtual training center, or just about a 3D model where somebody has created his power plants or his factory assemblies inside a program like Blender or an CAD tool, and then he starts to create something for training, so that I have not go to the certain place, so that I just put on my headset and I see everything what was planned or what's existing somewhere else. I see it in real size, and the information layer can edit interactively. Somebody is there, a second person is coming. So XR is also not automatically or only for single usage. If you do a multiplayer learning game, that means you bring much more um, um, uh, much more students inside your learning experience. And at the same time, and they can see each other as an avatar, they can walk around, they can experience something as nearly as they would be on a real machine, because that machine, what they experience in interactive 3D in their learning world, that's exactly the the same machine, because we were using CAD data, because that data what were created, the machine doing the construction process is used for the visualization. So everything should be one to one. And so it means you start somewhere to train, and then you go back to reality. Even if you have never been in that place before, you immediately know where you are, because you have trained it in the virtual world. And to come back to the question, is it just a prototype or is it really used for something? I can say, when it's 20 years ago, when I was creating helicopter trainings, uh, they were saving a lot of money, because if you train in a simulator, you save a lot of real flight time, and helicopter flying is very expensive. But that means the other way around. If a trainer, or if that guy who gives me my license, if he said you can fly because you were trained in virtual world, then you know that it's not a prototype, or it's not just a game. So it's really working. Otherwise, otherwise you would not get your license with only half the time in a real helicopter what you have uh, what you yeah how you have done it before. Some another questions.
Yeah, mm, nothing for now. But if we have any questions, I will let you know.
Okay, then I also say thank you for having me, and good luck for the hackathon. And I think we meet again. Have a
Yeah,
good
sure.
night, and I, uh, I send you a lot of greetings from Munich. I check out now. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.